You are standing in downtown Nashville at 6:29 in the morning on Christmas Day, and the city feels politely asleep, not dead, just resting. The streetlights throw that soft, buttery glow that makes everything look kinder than it is. Storefront windows hold their breath. Even your footsteps sound like they are trying not to wake anybody. And for a second, you let yourself believe in quiet, in a fresh start, in a world where nothing happens before coffee. Then the street punches you. Not a bang, an arrival. A force that hits your ribs first and your thoughts second. Glass turns into a sudden, glittering weather. The air goes thick, like it is trying to swallow its own scream. You wait for the usual chaos. Alarms, sirens, phones lighting up with 100 frantic notifications. But it is wrong. The alarms do not start right away. The phones do not sing. The city's nervous system, or at least a big chunk of it, has just gone numb. Here is the part that should feel familiar, because it is real history. An RV bomb did explode downtown this morning near a major communications hub, and people later talked about a recorded evacuation warning. A calm voice, a countdown, police urging folks away before the blast. Communications disruptions followed, like someone yanked the plug on normal life, but not here. In this version, there is no warning, no voice, no countdown, no last-second knock on a door, just impact, and the awful blank space afterward where information should be. You look at your phone, no service. So tell me, when the street is screaming and your screen is lying, who do you trust first? Your instincts, a stranger, or the official story? Because when you look down at your hands, you are holding something you do not remember picking up. You do not remember picking it up. That is the first problem. It is a badge. Cheap plastic, laminated like the kind you get at a conference where everybody pretends they are important. A barcode. A blank line where a name should be. A little clip that has somehow survived a force that just turned windows into confetti. The badge is warm in your palm, like it has been against someone's skin. You stare at it like it might explain itself. It does not. The air tastes like insulation and old brick, like the city's insides got dragged out into the cold. Your ears are ringing so hard it feels physical, like someone is pressing their thumbs into your skull and smiling about it. You blink, and the world comes back in pieces. A street you know too well suddenly unfamiliar. Dust drifting through the warm Christmas lights, storefronts punched open. And then, movement. Not everyone is still. Not everyone is gone. You see a couple stumbling on the sidewalk, bent forward like they have aged 20 years in 1 second. Somebody is upright, swaying, holding their head with both hands like they are trying to keep their thoughts from spilling out. Your brain latches onto that with desperate gratitude. You are alive. They are alive. There is something you can do besides panic. Purpose is a kind of painkiller. It does not last long, but you take it anyway. Because the next thing you notice is what the lack of warning really means. In the version of this morning that the world remembers, people talked about a recorded evacuation message, a countdown, time, precious time, to step back and breathe and live. Here, there was no voice telling anyone to move. No shared moment where the threat became real before the blast made it undeniable. So more people were close. Too close. The street is full of the kind of injuries that come from being surprised by physics. A man sits against a wall, blinking like a malfunctioning traffic light, blood tracing a thin line from his hairline. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just real. A woman is barefoot in a Christmas sweater, staring at her feet like they belong to someone else. Every few steps you see someone doing that animal thing humans do when they are hurt and trying not to be, minimizing it, negotiating with it. "I'm fine," they say, and their voice does not agree. You lift your phone with the same reflex you have used your whole life. Call for help. Call for an adult. Call for order. No service. You try again, because your brain is adorable that way. It believes in second chances. Still nothing. You tap emergency call. You tap it hard, as if force will convince the towers to care. Dead. You switch to texting, because maybe words can squeeze through where a call cannot. You type, "Are you okay?" You hit send. It just sits there, unscented. A tiny digital shrug. And right then, the outage stops being an inconvenience and turns predatory. In real life, this blast hit near the sort of infrastructure that carries everybody's invisible lifelines: phone, internet, the little "I'm here" signals we use to stitch ourselves back together when we get scattered. Here, with no warning and no immediate communications, confusion spreads faster than smoke. People cannot confirm anything. They cannot ask what they should do. They cannot even tell their mother they are alive, which, let's be honest, is the first rule of surviving a disaster. Reassure someone before your own shock wears off. Was it fireworks? A tourist whispers, and keeps whispering it like repetition can make reality obey. Fireworks. 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 You want to say no. You want to say, hey, you're safe now, you're okay, we're handling it, because that is what a decent person says. But you cannot lie that smoothly with dust in your mouth. A door creaks somewhere, half hanging from its frame. Car alarms finally begin to wake up, late to the party, confused and indignant. Somewhere farther off, you hear sirens trying to figure out where to go, as if sound itself has to navigate by guesswork now. You step toward a man leaning in a doorway. Bartender, maybe, by the look of his black shirt and the way he moves like he is used to squeezing between people. His hands are a mess of small cuts, glass glittering in the creases. He is holding them out away from his body like they are not his. Hey, you say, gentle, like you are talking to a skittish dog. Stay with me. Sit. Sit right here. He looks at your face, then at the badge in your hand, then back at your face, and whatever he sees there makes his jaw tighten. Who are you? He asks, not accusing exactly, just needing an answer in a world that stopped making sense. You do not have a clean one. You shove the badge into your pocket because suddenly it feels like a knife you forgot you were holding. You tear fabric, your scarf, your sleeve, something, and press it into his hands, wrapping, tightening. Your fingers work on autopilot. If you can stop one person from bleeding, you can pretend you have control. A security guard staggers by, eyes wide and unfocused, his radio clenched in his fist like a talisman. He clicks it again and again. Nothing. He tries his phone. Same dead screen, same indifferent message. He looks around like the world has betrayed him personally. It's not working, he says, and the way he says it makes it bigger than a phone. It sounds like a verdict. When a police officer finally appears, it is not the confident arrival you expect from movies. It is more like someone has wandered into the aftermath of their own nightmare and is pretending it is a normal shift. His face is tight, not angry, not heroic, controlled in a way that suggests fear has been invited in and politely asked to sit in the corner. His eyes flick from the damaged buildings to the shaken people to you, doing makeshift triage like you're auditioning for competence. Then he notices your pocket, where the corner of the badge peeks out. His gaze sharpens, just a degree. Were you here before it happened? He asks. It is a simple question. It should have a simple answer. Your mouth opens anyway, and for a second your mind is blank, pure white static, like your memories have joined the outage. You picture the street a few minutes ago. Quiet, warm lights, the illusion of safety. You try to grab hold of something specific, an RV, a person, a sound, and it slips away like a dream you did not write down fast enough. I was just... You start. The officer watches you in that careful way trained people do when they are deciding whether you are a witness or a problem. Behind him, the tourist is still whispering fireworks, and the security guard is still clicking a dead radio, and the bartender is staring at his wrapped hands like he cannot believe what they have been through. And then you see it, a security camera on the corner of a building. Still powered, still there, a tiny piece of the old world refusing to die, but its indicator light is off, not broken, not flickering, off, like somebody made a choice. You feel the hairs on your arms lift, and you cannot tell if it is the cold or the certainty that you are being recorded by something that wants you to forget it exists. Your pocket feels heavier than it should. The officer takes one slow step closer and says, very quietly, "Show me what you're holding." The police officer does not snatch the badge from you. That would be simple. He takes it carefully, 2 fingers on the edge like it might smear, like it might accuse him right back. He studies the blank name line, the barcode, the cheap clip, and his face does something strange, like he is trying not to make a face at all. "What is this?" he asks. And the honest answer is the one that makes you sound guilty. "I don't know," you say. "I just had it." His eyes flick over you again. Clothes dusted with brick powder, hands shaking in a way you cannot quite control. A steadiness in your voice you did not earn. Shock has a sense of humor like that. It steals your balance, then lends you a calm tone, so everyone assumes you are hiding something. He exhales through his nose, sharp. "Name." You tell him. He pulls a pen from somewhere and writes it on his own hand because paper is suddenly precious. Phones are expensive paperweights. Radios are angry little bricks that only spit silence. He gestures to the open street, to the wounded and wandering, to the security guard still clicking a dead device like prayer. "We're doing this old school," he says. "Stay where I can see you. For a few minutes, maybe 10, maybe 30, time is a broken ruler. Hope looks almost normal. Not easy, not pretty, just human." People start making lists, not digital ones. The kind your grandmother kept on the fridge with a magnet. A woman with a ripped sleeve finds a marker and writes names on the back of a cardboard box. Who is here? Who is hurt? Who is missing? Someone tears paper from a notebook and pins it under a rock because the wind keeps trying to steal it. Strangers become runners, jogging messages from one cluster of responders to another because legs still work when networks do not. It is the oldest kind of internet. Eye contact, handwriting, repetition. You help because standing still feels like drowning. You bring water when you can find it. You guide a man with a cut on his forehead toward a patch of sidewalk where paramedics have started sorting injuries with a grim tenderness. You keep your voice level, telling people the same small instructions again and again. Sit, breathe, pressure on the wound. Stay with me. And for one fragile stretch of time, it almost works. Then rumor arrives. It does not stroll in politely. It sprints, breathless, and it multiplies with every mouth it touches. "There's another one," someone says, eyes wide, pointing nowhere. "I heard shots," someone else insists, and now everybody's head turns like a flock of birds. "It's an inside job," a man mutters with the confidence of someone who has never been correct about anything important. "Cyber attack," a woman says, and you hate how neat that word feels, how it makes chaos sound planned, like there is a hand on the switch, choosing who gets to talk and who does not. Without reliable communication, every shouted sentence becomes a headline. Every half-glimpsed movement becomes evidence. Nobody can verify anything, so the loudest story starts winning by default. You catch fragments as you move. Second bomb, shooter, gas line, foreign, government, Christmas. They did it on purpose. They, always they, the invisible villain that makes people feel safer because at least it has a shape. Two responders are arguing near a storefront with its windows blown out. One is a firefighter, soot-smudged, jaw clenched tight enough to crack teeth. The other wears a vest you cannot quite place, the kind of official clothing that screams authority even when it is wrong. "I heard it," the vest says. A warning, a voice telling people to clear out. The firefighter snaps, fast and furious. There wasn't one. If there was a warning, we would have known. We would have moved people. "I'm telling you, I heard..." No, you heard what your brain wanted to hear. That sentence lands in you like a cold coin, because your brain is doing that too. Now that someone has suggested a warning, you find yourself searching for it in your own memory the way you search for your keys when you are already late. You try to replay the minutes before the blast. You try to locate a voice, any voice, telling you to leave. You get nothing solid, just a smear of sensation. Christmas lights, a quiet street, your own footsteps. And that is terrifying in a way you cannot explain to someone who has never had their memory turn into a crime scene. The police officer returns, and with him comes someone who does not look like a patrol cop. This person moves differently, cleaner, more deliberate, like every step has already been argued and approved in their head. Detective, you think, or a federal agent. The kind of person who asks questions that do not sound like questions. They introduce themselves, quick and flat, and guide you a few paces away from the clustering crowd. Tell me what you saw, they say. So you do. You tell them about the blast and the way the air tasted like insulation, about the phones failing all at once, about the security camera still powered but acting dead, its little light refusing to confess, about the badge you cannot explain, the blank name line that feels like a joke with teeth. You give details. Too many. Where you were standing, which doorway you pulled someone into, the tourist repeating fireworks like a spell, the security guard clicking his radio, the exact angle of the camera. The detective's eyes narrow, not because your story is unbelievable, but because it is coherent. Why are you so calm? They ask. And you almost laugh, because what a question. As if calm is a personality trait and not a chemical accident. As if terror always performs itself the same way. I'm not calm, you say. I'm functioning. They watch you for a beat, then glance at the badge in the officer's hand. Do you work near here? The detective asks. No. Have you ever had a badge like this? No. Then how did it get into your pocket? You open your mouth. Close it. Your mind offers you nothing but that first horrible sentence. I don't know. Behind the detective, you notice a man with a phone held chest high, lens aimed at you with the lazy confidence of someone who believes the world exists to be content. He is not helping anyone. He is not bleeding. He is narrating. And they're not showing identification, he says, speaking to an audience that is not physically present. They were here before responders arrived, and they had an access badge. I'm just saying, that's weird. Your stomach tightens. You take a step toward him, and the detective shifts slightly, tracking you like a chess piece. The man turns his phone a fraction, and you catch the screen for one sharp second. It is your face, framed neatly, circled in red, labeled with a word that does not belong to you, suspect. And beneath it, impossible, obscene, there are reactions, comments, little bursts of certainty from strangers who have never tasted brick dust, never tried to call for help and got in silence, never held a warm badge they cannot explain. How are you posting that? You ask, and your voice comes out thinner than you want. The man shrugs, smug. Some of us still have signal. That is when the disaster becomes personal in a new way. Because a communications blackout is not just the absence of help, it is an imbalance of power. It means some people can shape reality while you cannot even send a single text to defend yourself. The detective looks from the phone to you, and you can feel the story curdling. Not facts. Story. The kind that sticks. You could confront the man. You could run. You could try to talk your way out of a narrative that is already spreading without you. Instead, you do the most human thing. You retreat to breathe. You slip into a narrow alley where the air is colder and the dust hangs in lazy sheets. For a moment, the noise of the street dulls, and your thoughts finally catch up to your heartbeat. Then you see the door. Plain metal. Industrial. The sort of door you would ignore 100 times in your life. Except someone has placed a fresh strip of masking tape across it, clean and deliberate, with one word written in black marker. Listen. Not a warning. Not a threat. An instruction. And right as your eyes trace the letters, you realize something that makes your skin go tight. The tape is so new it has not even collected dust. Someone put it there after the blast. You stare at the masking tape like it might blink first. Listen. If you have never opened a door marked with a command during a disaster, congratulations. You have instincts. Yours, apparently, are the kind that get you killed in the first 10 minutes of a cautionary tale. Curiosity is just fear with better posture. And right now your posture is fantastic. You peel the tape away and try the handle. The door gives, and the alley's cold chaos falls behind you like a curtain. Inside is a service corridor. Narrow, utilitarian, the sort of place meant for mops and spare light bulbs, not for answers. The quiet hits you immediately. Not peaceful quiet, controlled quiet. Like someone turned the whole world into a waiting room and forgot to put out magazines. Your eyes adjust. There is emergency lighting, faint but steady. A maintenance panel on the wall vibrates with a low, steady hum you can feel in your teeth. Power. Real power. Not the dying, flickering kind the street has been surviving on. For the first time since the blast, You feel something close to relief. Then you spot it. A router, sitting on a metal shelf like it belongs there, little lights blinking in a patient rhythm, trying to remember its job, trying to be normal. A thin cable runs into the ceiling, neat as a hair part. Everything about it says, this corner of the building did not suffer the same way the street did. You pull out your phone without thinking. The screen lights your fingers an unhealthy blue. Still no cellular service, but the wireless symbol appears. Hesitant, then solid. A network name pops up that makes your throat tighten. Listen. No password prompt, just open. Of course it is. You do not connect. Not yet. You are not ready to invite whatever this is into your pocket. Still, the fact that you could connect at all feels like finding a dry match in the rain. Communication. Proof. A way to tell someone, anyone, that you are not the red-circled villain in a stranger's little holiday broadcast. You take one step farther into the corridor, and your shoe squeaks on the floor. The sound is wrong. Outside, everything is dust and grit and splintered glass. Here, the floor is clean. Not, nobody walked here. Clean. Clean like it has been wiped. Clean like somebody cared. Your skin prickles as your brain assembles a picture you do not want. The blast shook the street. The blast shattered the windows. The blast did not politely spare this corridor. And yet, here it is. Tidy. Intentional. Staged. You spot a clipboard hanging from a hook beside the maintenance panel. The paper is crisp, corners unbent. Someone has been writing on it recently. The ink is dark, unshaken, not smeared by frantic hands. You lift it and read. A checklist. A log. Public address system. Speaker test. Message load confirmation. And beside each item, times written with bureaucratic calm. 6:10, 6:12, 6:14. You swallow, because you know what time the blast felt like. You do not know the exact minute, not with the way shock scrambles clocks in your head, but you know you were still breathing normal air around 6:14. You know you were still a person with small problems. You know no calm voice told anyone to clear out. No recorded warning, no chance. Yet the clipboard says there was a message loaded at 6:14. And then, one line lower, written like it is nothing. Audio output disconnected, 6:16. Not failed, not damaged, disconnected. You flip the clipboard, hoping for a signature, a name, a reason. There is only a final note at the bottom, pressed hard enough to leave an imprint on the sheet beneath. Confirm silence. Your mouth goes dry. You look at the ceiling and find the speaker. Small, flush to the tile, like the kind you have heard in grocery stores announcing a cleanup on aisle 4. There is no dust around it, no scorch marks, just a clean circle, perfectly ordinary. Too ordinary. You reach for the maintenance panel and stop short. The screws are not stripped. The cover is not warped. The latch is intact. Someone opened it with the right tool. Someone had time. Someone did it carefully. That is the moment the corridor stops feeling like a hiding place and starts feeling like a confession booth. You are not supposed to be here. Or maybe you are. Maybe this is exactly where they wanted you. A slow set of footsteps move somewhere overhead. Not running, not stumbling, not the frantic shuffle of people trying to save lives or find exits. These steps have spacing, patience, the kind of measured pace you hear from someone who is not afraid of being caught because they are not improvising. Each step lands, pauses, lands again, like punctuation. Your body reacts before your mind finishes its sentence. Your shoulders tighten. Your hand grips the clipboard too hard, crinkling the paper. The corridor suddenly feels narrower, the air thicker, as if the building itself is listening. You back toward the door without turning your back on the hallway, because every story you have ever heard about being hunted taught you that much. The footsteps continue, unhurried, passing directly over you. Then they stop, right there, a few feet overhead, exactly where you are standing. You hold your breath and hate yourself for it. Holding your breath has never saved anyone. It is just what prey does when it pretends it can become invisible. You ease the clipboard back onto its hook, careful, reverent, like returning evidence to an altar. Your fingers hover near the router without touching it. You cannot shake the thought that the blinking lights are not offering you help. They are watching for your decision. You slip back into the alley and pull the door closed behind you. Outside, the street is still chaos, but it has changed. The panic has started to organize into something colder, a story. Responders are forming lines. People are being moved, redirected, counted, and in the middle of it, the detective from earlier is speaking with that same flat confidence, like confidence itself is an emergency service. You catch fragments as you pass. Isolated incident, no ongoing threat, single individual, a clean ending, a neat file, one person to blame, one motive to label, one narrative to repeat until it sounds like truth. Later, weeks later, when the smoke has fully cleared and the cables have been repaired, officials will tell the public that the bomber acted alone, that he chose Christmas morning on purpose, that it was deliberate and contained in a horrifying way. But you have just stood in a corridor where confirm silence was written like a task. You step toward the detective, and their eyes catch you immediately, like they never stopped tracking you, like you were always the loose thread. Phone, they say, holding out a gloved hand. Not a request, a collection. Your first instinct is to refuse, and you have 1,000 reasons. The stranger filming you, the red circle around your face, the blank badge, the way your own memory keeps betraying you. But refusing makes you look like exactly what everyone is already trying to make you. So you place your phone in their hand and tell yourself, cooperation equals safety. That is what people tell themselves right before they learn the difference between being helpful and being useful. The detective turns the phone over once, then starts tapping through menus with practiced ease. Their expression does not change at first. Then it does. Just a flicker, a tiny betrayal at the corner of the eyes. They stop scrolling. They tilt the screen slightly away from you, as if the device has suddenly become private. "What is this?" they ask. They angle it back just enough for you to see a list of recent audio files. One of them is labeled automatically, plain as a gravestone. Evacuate, 6:14. Your stomach drops so hard you swear you can feel it in your shoes. "I never recorded that," you say, and your voice comes out steady again, which is the worst part. Steady makes you sound rehearsed. The detective watches you, waiting for the lie to crack. But you are not lying. So the only question left, the one that turns your skin to ice, is the question you cannot answer. If you never recorded it, why is it on your phone? Your phone looks different in someone else's hand. Maybe it is the glove. Maybe it is the way the investigator holds it like a loaded question, screen tilted so you can only see what they allow. Or maybe it is the simple, sickening fact that your whole life is in there. Every boring selfie, every late-night scroll, every private little note to yourself. And now it is being treated like evidence pulled from a crime scene. Because it is. They tap the file. You hear your own pulse before you hear anything else. Loud, rude, like your body is heckling you. "Play it," you say. And you do not recognize how steady your voice sounds until the words are already out. "Please, if that's real, I need to know." The investigator's eyes stay on you a beat too long, like they are weighing whether giving you information is kindness or a liability. Then they hand the phone back with the kind of caution usually reserved for broken glass. You slide one earbud in. One ear only, because some primitive part of you still wants the street in the other ear. The shouting, the radios that barely work, the sirens that keep arriving to a place that keeps breaking. Your thumb hovers. Imagine this happens to you. Your own device accusing you with a file you never made. Chilling, right? Now imagine the file is called Evacuate. You press play. It is not a voice from the dark. It is not theatrical. It is worse than that. It is mundane. A clean, automated voice, clinical, measured, the vocal equivalent of a form letter, states that this is an emergency message and instructs people to evacuate the area immediately. It repeats. Same tone, same phrasing, no panic, no humanity. Just certainty, like the machine is reading a sentence it has read 1,000 times. and cannot understand why anyone would need to hear it twice. And as you listen, the dread doesn't come from what the message says. It comes from what it proves. A warning existed somewhere. It just never reached you. You yank the earbud out like it burned you. The air tastes like ash and pennies. Your hands have started doing that tremble thing again. The one your brain insists is adrenaline, as if giving it a fancy name makes it less pathetic. The investigator watches your face carefully. You still want to tell me you didn't make it? I didn't, you say, too fast. Then slower, because speed sounds like guilt. That's not me. That's not recorded through a microphone. There's no background, no wind, no... You stop yourself. You sound like you are applying for a job in audio forensics, and you hate that you even know what you know. Mostly from listening to too many true crime podcasts while folding laundry. Like horror should always stay politely on the other side of the screen. The investigator holds out their hand again. Pass it here. You give it over because what else can you do? Refuse and become a headline. Cooperate and become a footnote. Those are the holiday options, apparently. They walk you toward a makeshift command area inside a building that still has power. The lobby smells like old carpet and disinfectant, an attempt at normal that feels almost insulting. People in uniforms move with grim purpose, stepping over cords, trading clipboards, speaking in fragments that never become full sentences. A technician, hair messy, eyes tired in that special way only disasters can give you, takes the phone, like it is a puzzle that hates being solved. They plug in a small device, tap through screens, frown. This isn't a voice memo, the technician mutters. Not a typical recording. It's too clean. It looks exported. Exported from what? You ask, and immediately regret speaking because now you are the person asking questions in the room full of people doing their best not to answer them. The technician's mouth twists. Could be from a public address system, some sort of automated alert, but the networks here are a mess. They're not just damaged, they're inconsistent. Inconsistent how? The investigator asks. The technician hesitates, then shrugs like honesty is heavier than fear. You ever see a power outage where every third house still has lights? Same street, same transformer, no reason. That's what this feels like. Some cameras dead, some alive, some logs missing, some intact. Timestamps corrupted in chunks, not evenly. Like somebody didn't just break things, like somebody decided what was allowed to be seen. Your stomach tightens because your brain immediately supplies the corridor. The clean floor, the router blinking like a patient heartbeat. The clipboard note, confirm silence. You hear yourself speak before you can talk yourself out of it. There's a door in the alley, masking tape on it. It says, listen. The investigator's head turns sharply. Where? You give directions with a strange, floating feeling, like you are narrating your own trial. The technician's eyes flicker with something that might be excitement, except excitement is a dirty word in a place like this. They send 2 people, not in a hurry. That is the detail that makes your skin crawl. No rush means they already believe you, or they already expected it. While they are gone, the technician keeps digging into the file. They show the investigator a screen of metadata that means nothing to you, lines of information you never asked your phone to remember. The technician points at one field, then another, then rubs their forehead like it aches to think. Created time says 6:14, they say, but the device clock drifted after the comms failure. That messes with everything. Location is unreliable, and without the network records, they trail off, letting the sentence die in the same place the warning died. The investigator turns to you. This could help you, they say, and for a moment you almost believe them. If we can prove this. Was pushed to devices in the area, you're a bystander who got caught in the blast zone. Hope, thin as paper. Then they add, or it could hurt you, because right now you're the only one we've seen with this exact file on a personal device. That means proximity, that means access. That means you were close enough to receive something most people didn't. The paper hope tears right down the middle. Your mind races through every way a person can be framed without ever being touched. You think of the stranger filming you earlier, your face circled like a target. You think of how easy it is to tell a story about someone once you have a piece of data you can point at and say, see? The technician clears their throat. If the audio was transmitted locally, not through the wider network, it narrows the source. A local router, a contained system. Somebody could have staged distribution. Staged. There's that word again. A runner comes back from the alley, breathless, eyes wide in a way that makes your chest seize. They whisper to the investigator. You cannot hear the words, but you see the investigator's jaw tighten. Then the investigator looks at you like you are no longer just a witness. You are a container. We need that file, they say. We need the only copy. Only copy. That phrase hits like a trap snapping shut. Because if they take it, you lose control of the one thing that might prove you are not insane. If you keep it, you look like you are hiding evidence. If you destroy it, you might be the only person who ever heard the truth. So here's the question, and I want you to really sit with it. What would you do? Do you hand it over because cooperating is what innocent people do, and you are desperate to be treated like one? Do you leak it because the only way to survive a narrative is to get ahead of it? Or do you erase it because you can feel the spotlight tightening, and you would do almost anything to step out of it? Your phone rests in your palm again, returned to you for a heartbeat, maybe by accident, maybe as a test. Your thumb hovers over the screen, and you can almost feel invisible eyes leaning in, waiting to see which kind of person you are. Then, like the city itself is playing a cruel joke, your signal flickers. One bar, just one. A text arrives from an unknown number, bright and calm against the grime of the day. Don't play hero. You're still on camera. Your screen glows with a message that feels less like a threat and more like a verdict. Don't play hero. You're still on camera. For a second, you just stare at it, like staring hard enough might change the letters, like your eyes can negotiate. Then you notice the corner of your phone again. One bar of service. A thin, ugly little miracle. It is almost funny. Almost. One bar is not enough to call your mother and say, I am alive, but it is plenty for someone to reach through the wreckage and tap you on the shoulder. Your fear stops being a storm and becomes a filing cabinet. Who knows your number? Who knows you have the audio? Who knows where you are standing? And the worst question, the one that slides under your ribs and presses there. Who is still on camera for? Police? News? Security? Or someone who has been watching long before today, patiently collecting angles like souvenirs? You look around the makeshift command area, and suddenly everyone's face seems edited, like you're seeing them as a collection of features instead of people. A jawline, a badge, a pair of hands that never shake, a technician with tired eyes and a wired focus, an investigator who keeps saying the same phrase, calm as a lullaby. Standard procedure. Standard procedure. The words land with the same rhythm every time, like they have been rehearsed. In the history you thought you lived in, the recreational vehicle played a recorded evacuation warning in the minutes before it exploded. A calm voice, repeating itself, giving strangers a chance to step away. That warning became the reason the story ended with injuries instead of body counts. Here, the street heard nothing. Here, the first warning arrives after the blast, after the outage, after the smoke, delivered straight to you like you were always the intended audience. The phone feels heavier in your palm, not because of the glass and metal, because of the choices. You can already see the three versions of you lining up, each convinced they are the smart one. The reasonable you hands the audio over. You take a breath that tastes like disinfectant and ash and say, take it. I want this handled right. For a heartbeat, it feels like relief. Like doing the correct thing should create a protective bubble around you. The investigator's posture loosens a fraction. The technician nods, already thinking in cables and logs and origins. Someone even says, softly, good. Then the room reshapes around you. Standard procedure, the investigator says, and gestures you away from the cluster of radios and clipboards and urgent whispers. Not roughly. Worse than that, politely. Like they are doing you a favor. They walk you through a hallway where the lights are too bright for what happened outside. Your footsteps sound too loud. You tell yourself you are cooperating. You tell yourself that cooperating is what innocent people do. Just a few questions, they say. The first question is what you expect. Where were you standing? What did you see? Who did you speak to? The second question is where your stomach sinks. Why were you recording? I was not recording, you say. It was on my phone. I told you that. They nod like you have confirmed something. Standard procedure. We have to ask. Then they ask again. Same words, same tone, a loop. And you realize the questions are not designed to learn. They are designed to shape, to build a story that has clean edges, a beginning, a middle, an ending, and a person to place in the center of it. A character. The reckless you tries to take control of the story first. You step aside, shield your screen with your body, and search for someone, anyone, outside this room who might put your evidence where it cannot be quietly filed away. A journalist you follow, a friend with a large audience, a local outlet, somebody who will hear warning audio and understand how impossible that should be in a city where nobody heard it. Your thumb moves fast, clumsy with adrenaline. The single bar flickers like it is making fun of you. A message begins to send. The file tries to move. Then it stalls. You watch the progress hang there, frozen at an awkward fraction, like the network itself has decided to savor your panic. And when it fails loudly in your head, not on the phone. There is no dramatic alert. Just the quiet, humiliating fact that you tried and you did not succeed. But the attempt leaves fingerprints. A draft sits in your outbox, a partial transfer, a timestamp, proof that you tried to distribute evidence from an active investigation, whether it is officially classified or not, whether that label is fair or just convenient. And the moment you lift your eyes, you catch it. Someone across the room looking at you with the same expression the investigator had when they first took your phone. Not anger, assessment. Like you have just stepped into the role they were hoping you would choose. The desperate you tries to erase the problem. It is the simplest option, the most human one. If you cannot prove what you know without becoming the villain in somebody else's script, maybe you remove the prop entirely. You open the file, you hover over delete. Your mind races through consequences like they are grocery items, cooperation, suspicion, exposure, punishment, silence, survival. You press delete. For a half second you feel lighter, like you have cut a wire. Then the phone buzzes again, and the single bar of service feels less like a lifeline and more like a hook. A second text arrives from the same unknown number. Too late. 2 words, and your mouth goes dry. Too late to save people? Too late to save yourself? Too late because the file was never truly yours to begin with? You stare at your empty audio folder, at the blank space where proof used to live, and you understand something cold and perfect. The warning was never just a warning. It was a test, a way to see what you would do when offered a choice that was not real. Because even if you handed it over, they can still paint you as the source. Even if you tried to send it out, they can still paint you as reckless. Even if you deleted it, they can still paint you as guilty. You start noticing the language around you again. Standard procedure. For your safety. We just need to clear a few things. The same phrases, repeated by different mouths, like everyone is reading from identical cue cards. You back away from the center of the room because suddenly the center feels like a stage. Your legs carry you without asking permission. Past a doorway, past a darkened storefront with a cracked sign and dust on the glass. The city outside is still injured. Sirens in the distance, the air sharp, the day refusing to feel like a holiday. Inside the storefront, it is dim and stale and quiet in a way that makes your ears ring. You press your hand to your face and try to breathe like a normal person, like a person who is not being watched. Then your phone vibrates again. 1 bar, 1 message, 1 calm instruction that turns your stomach because it sounds so certain, like the speaker already knows you will obey. Go to the place that can still talk without towers. Your phone gives you that last instruction like it is doing you a favor. Go to the place that can still talk without towers. And you almost laugh, not because it is funny, because it is Christmas morning, your city is half broken, and the only thing that seems confident is a stranger texting you directions like they are sending you to a coffee shop. You step out of the dark storefront and into a street that looks misfiled. like reality got shaken and never settled back into the right folders. Traffic lights blink out of rhythm, confused about whose turn it is to exist. Sirens feel far away, then suddenly too near, then far again. People move in little hesitant knots, stopping and starting, checking phones like rosaries. And the silence is not total. That is what makes it worse. In one stretch of sidewalk, a man waves his phone in the air and cheers like he just caught a fish. 2 steps later, a woman is crying into a dead screen that will not light no matter how hard she presses. It is not fair, and it is not random. The gaps have edges, clean ones. Every rumor you hear has that same clean edge too, like it was cut with a blade instead of born from panic. There was no warning, someone says, with the certainty of a person repeating what they were told to repeat. I heard there was a warning, someone else insists, equally certain, equally rehearsed. A recording. You keep walking, and you start seeing what people do when their phones stop being magical. They do what humans have always done. They gather. On a corner, strangers cluster around a car with the doors open, heads angled toward the dashboard radio like it is a little warm fire. Somebody hands out bottled water. Somebody else has a power bank and 3 different cords. And for a moment, they are the most important person in Tennessee. A guy in a Santa hat is writing street names on a scrap of cardboard, passing it along like a treasure map. There is a nervous kindness in the air, the kind people discover when their normal systems fail, and they remember they have hands. You want to stay. You want to believe this is the real story. Neighbors helping neighbors, Christmas turning grim but not cruel. Then you catch fragments of talk slipping between the kindness like cold air through a cracked window. Some areas still have service. My cousin is posting. Posting where? I do not know. He just said it is live. That is impossible. Nothing is impossible today. You feel that thin bar of service on your phone like an itch. You check it, hate yourself for checking it. Check it again. No new messages. Just that last line. Talk without towers. Sitting there patiently, like it knows you are coming. So you do the simplest thing. You ask the crowd. Where would you go? You say, trying to keep your voice steady. If you had to reach people without cell towers. A few faces turn toward you. Suspicion flashes, then fades, then returns in a different shape. One man points with a mittened hand. Radio station, he says. They got a generator. They are still on air, I think. Couple blocks that way. A woman adds, or the amateur radio folks. They meet near the old municipal building. The way she says it, amateur radio, carries a strange respect. Like those people are not hobbyists right now, like they are lifeboats. You walk through the city center with that direction in your head, and the farther you go, the more it feels like you are walking inside a paused clip that someone can resume at any moment just to watch you flinch. Windows are dark, doors are locked. A wreath hangs crooked on a streetlight, cheerful in a way that almost feels cruel. And then you see it. A squat building with a hand-painted sign taped near the entrance, the kind of sign made fast by a person with shaking hands. Emergency communications, radio in use, do not block door. Inside, the air smells like old carpet, burnt coffee, and human fatigue. There are paper maps on tables, marked with thick lines and circles. A dry erase board is crowded with names, addresses, scribbled notes, half-erased corrections. People move with the rigid focus of those who have been solving problems for hours without the luxury of sleep. This is what it looks like when the world has to do, by hand, what your phone usually does without you thinking about it. A man in a headset is speaking into a microphone, then typing on a little keyboard connected to a radio, sending short text messages through the air like it is 1999 again. Another person is writing down incoming reports in neat block letters, as if penmanship can hold the world together. You hover in the doorway until someone sees your face and makes a quick decision. Are you injured? A woman asks, already scanning you like a checklist. No, you say. I got a message. It told me to come here. That earns you a look. Not fear, not surprise, recognition. Before she can speak again, you hear 2 responders talking near the maps. Voices low but not careful enough. Regional outage is widening, one says. Cell is patchy. Some public safety network stayed alive on batteries for a while, then it dropped when reserve power got compromised. Batteries drained, then everything started failing in sequence. The other responder rubs their eyes, like watching a body lose heat. A body, that is what the city is right now. A body trying to remember how to breathe. You take 2 more steps inside and realize you are not alone in being noticed. A man stands near the board, with his hands folded like he is posing for calm. He has the look of a federal agent, the kind who wears reassurance like a uniform. His eyes find you, and he gives a small nod that feels practiced, as if he has nodded at frightened people for a living. Nearby, a network technician in a wrinkled shirt keeps glancing at your phone like it is a dessert tray. He does not say hello. He does not ask if you are all right. He just says, "Did you play it?" "Play what?" you ask, even though your mouth is already dry. He points, subtle and sharp. "The file? The audio? Did you listen to it?" The way he says it makes your skin tighten. Not curiosity, hunger. Like he is not worried about what the audio means, only about whether it has been touched. And then, because your day is apparently determined to keep topping itself, you spot the third figure, the bystander filmer. They are not near the radios. They are not near the maps. They are near the edge of the room, half hidden by a doorway, holding a phone at chest height. Not helping, not leaving, just collecting. You meet their eyes and they do not look away. They tilt their head like they are checking framing. That is when you see the new sheet of paper taped to the dry erase board. Fresh, clean. It does not match the messy human chaos around it. 3 columns, written in thick marker like someone wanted it readable from far away. Heroes, liars, suspects, and beneath suspects, in smaller letters that still punch you in the gut, a description that feels like it crawled out of your own nightmare. Person with warning audio. Phone seen near blast site. Still moving. Not a name. Not yet. Just you, reduced to a role. You stare at that line and feel the room tilt. Because how does anyone build a story that fast in a city with broken service? How does a label travel so cleanly when calls will not even connect? The calm man steps closer, voice gentle. "We can protect you," he says, as if protection is something he carries in his pocket. "But you need to be honest." The technician leans in from the other side, urgent. "If you played it, tell me. If you altered it, tell me." And the bystander filmer remains at the edge, recording the moment you become a headline. You want to scream that you are a person, that you are not a category, that you are not content. Instead, you swallow hard and hold your phone tighter, like it can anchor you. A radio operator with a gray beard finally looks from your face to your device and back again. His eyes are tired, but they are sharp in the way tired eyes get when the stakes are real. "If you have what I think you have," he says, "we can broadcast it." For the first time since the blast, you feel something like a path opening. And right then, from somewhere behind the building, the rear door begins to open. Slow, deliberate, like whoever is entering is trying very hard not to be heard. The rear door eases inward, slow enough to make you wonder if somebody is practicing how to enter a room without becoming a memory. Conversations die. Pens stop moving. Even the bystander filmer pauses, like their body knows a rule their mind refuses to respect. The calm man with the official posture shifts his weight, just slightly, placing himself between you and the opening like that is an old habit. The network technician's eyes flick there, then right back to your phone. Hungry, impatient, like the door is just weather, and your device is the storm. A man steps in, not a rescuer, not a villain, just a guy in a work jacket carrying a tote bag and a flat cardboard box that used to hold printer paper. He looks at the room full of exhausted strangers and blinks like he walked into the wrong church. "Sorry," he says, breathless. "I came from a building 2 blocks over. They still got a line. Not everywhere, just a pocket. Somebody's sending these. Said they needed to be posted." He pulls out fresh sheets and lays them on the nearest table. Heroes, liars, suspects. Same thick marker. Same clean, confident lettering. Like it was written by a person who never once had to wonder if their family was safe. The radio operator with the gray beard stares at the pages, and then at the man who delivered them. Who is somebody? The guy shrugs in a way that feels too casual for a disaster. I do not know. A number. Texts came through. They said it helps keep order. Keep order. You almost choke on it, as if human beings are a messy room and labels are a broom. The bystander filmer resumes filming, drifting closer to the table of papers. You notice the way their gaze skims the columns, searching for names like they are checking a scoreboard. The calm man's voice is gentle, but there is steel underneath. Those do not go on the wall. The deliverer frowns. But no, the calm man repeats, and the guy shuts his mouth. For a heartbeat, you feel a stupid little spark of relief. Somebody in this room still knows the difference between information and a witch hunt. Then the technician leans toward you again, dragging you back to the reason you came. We need the file, he says. Now, you tighten your grip on your phone. It is ridiculous, isn't it? A slab of glass and metal suddenly feels like the only thing separating you from becoming a rumor with legs. The radio operator gives you a look that is not threatening, just tired, honest. We cannot help you if we cannot see it. You swallow. I did not make it, you say. It came to me. The technician makes a sound that is almost a laugh, almost a cough. Everything comes to everyone today. The calm man watches you like he is waiting for a lie to bloom. Hand it over. You do not fully. Instead, you step closer to the table and lay the phone flat, screen facing you, your palm hovering over it like a protective parent. Here, you say. Look, but it stays where I can see it. The technician nods too fast, already moving. He does not touch your phone at first. He points. Open the file list. You do. Hands shaking just enough to make you hate your own nerves. There, he says. That one. You tap it, and the familiar warning begins. Clean, crisp, wrong for the street. No wind, no footsteps, no echo, no human panic in the background. Just the message, looping with the calm cruelty of automation. The operator's face tightens. That is too clean. Exactly, the technician says. Eyes bright now, like he has finally been fed. If you had captured this outside, you would hear the world. Cars, a dog, anything. This sounds like it came straight from a source feed. A source feed, you repeat, feeling your brain trying to catch up. The technician starts talking faster, and the faster he talks, the more you feel the room tilting into a kind of logic that is worse than madness. This could be a public address loop inside a building, or a test channel somebody forgot to mute, or a relay device, or a dispatch room monitor playing it for internal awareness. So, you say, and there is a dangerous hope creeping into your voice. I am not losing my mind. The operator gives a tight nod. No, you are hearing something real. For a moment, it feels like air finally reaches your lungs. Real. Not a hallucination. Not grief in disguise. Not your brain trying to comfort itself with patterns. Then the operator keeps going, and the hope rots in your mouth. If this is real, he says, then the warning existed somewhere, in the system. But people out there did not hear it. The calm man's eyes narrow, or it did not reach them. The technician's fingers hover over the phone, like he wants to dissect it with his nails. A warning can exist and still be useless, he says. It can be trapped in the wrong place, routed wrong, quarantined by a failure, or by a person. A person. That word lands hard. You think about the blinking traffic lights outside, the pockets where service still works, the pockets where it is dead, the rumors that sound too rehearsed, the clean edges around missing information, like somebody took a pair of scissors to reality. And then you remember, like a bruise you forgot you had. In the world you thought you lived in, this story had a neat ending. The Federal Bureau of Investigation said the man acted alone, said it was not terrorism, said the warning suggested he did not want undue injury, that he was trying, however twistedly, to clear the area. You remember reading that and thinking, at least there was a warning. Here, there was not. Not for the people who needed it. Not for the ones who would have run, barefoot if they had to, if they had only known. The operator gestures at the maps, the radio gear, the exhausted volunteers scribbling names. Look around, he says. This is what happens when the world depends on invisible lines. Everything is connected. And when one critical piece breaks, the rest does not fail all at once. It fails like a sequence. The calm man's voice turns softer, almost philosophical. Every safeguard can technically function, he says, and people can still die. You feel a sick thought worm into the back of your mind, wearing your own voice like a mask. Maybe the city did not deserve a warning. The thought fits too easily. That is what scares you, not the thought itself. Thoughts are cheap, they happen, but how natural it feels, like you have been trained to accept cruelty as efficiency. You squeeze your eyes shut, just for a second, and when you open them, you see the bystander filmer still hovering, still collecting. You see the fresh heroes, liars, suspects, sheets waiting to be weaponized. You see the calm man watching you, like he is deciding what box to place you in. The operator taps your phone with one knuckle, careful not to actually touch it. If we put this on air, he says, people will know something. They will stop trusting the wrong stories. The calm man's jaw flexes. Or they will panic. They are already panicking, the operator snaps. And for the first time, he sounds angry instead of tired. They are just panicking blind. The technician leans closer to the phone again. We can play it, he says. But I want to check one thing first. He does something subtle. Turns a setting, slides a finger along an option. The kind of small gesture that decides whether truth arrives as truth or as entertainment. He listens, eyes narrowing, then widening. Color drains from his face so fast it looks like fear has a remote control. What? You ask, voice cracking. What is it? He looks at you like he is seeing you for the first time. That audio? He says, barely breathing the words. It is not a warning. The operator frowns. What are you talking about? The technician points at the file like it is suddenly radioactive. There's something under it, he says. A second layer. Faint, like somebody speaking from another room. You lean in without meaning to, drawn by the same awful curiosity that makes people slow near car wrecks. And there it is, thin as a hair, calm as a lab test. Your name, said twice, like someone checking if the microphone works. Your name in that file does not sound like a threat at first. It sounds like a technician checking a microphone. Calm, clinical. The kind of voice that says, this is only a test, nothing to fear. Which is exactly why your skin turns to ice. Because nobody should be testing anything with your name on Christmas morning, in a city that still smells like burned plastic and ruptured concrete. The technician drags a slider again, isolating the faint layer beneath the warning. He is trying to prove to himself he is not imagining it. You are trying to prove to yourself you are not the point. The voice slips through the room a second time. Your name, twice, measured. Like a scientist reading a label on a jar. Every head pivots toward you. The radio operator's eyes are wide with a tired kind of sympathy. The kind you give someone right before you say, I am sorry, but you are involved now. The calm man with the official posture does not look sympathetic. He looks interested, like you just stopped being a person and started being a variable. The bystander filmer is still recording, lens pointed at your face like your fear is public property. And on the table, those fresh pages sit like an accusation waiting for a thumbtack. Heroes, liars, suspects. You feel something in you harden. Not bravery, not exactly, more like disgust, because you suddenly understand the worst part of modern panic. It is not the danger. It is the editing, the way 100 strangers can slice you into a story that fits their hunger. You hear your own voice, low and shaky. I am not doing that. I am not letting anyone decide what I am. The operator blinks. What are you saying? I am saying I will speak first, you tell him, before somebody else makes me a suspect for surviving. The calm man steps forward. That is not your decision. You look at him. Really look. His clean jacket, his controlled tone, the way he keeps standing between you and the exits, between you and the door, between you and the idea of leaving. Then whose is it? You ask. For a moment, nobody answers. And in that gap, you feel it. The whole room is balanced on a thin wire between order and truth, and those two things are not always friends. The operator swallows. We still have broadcast capability, he says, like he cannot believe he is admitting it. Barely. Generator power, limited range. But people are hunting for anything that feels solid. Then give them solid. you say, and you slide your phone closer. Play it. Let them hear what did not reach them. The technician nods, already moving, hands busy with cords and adapters scavenged from drawers like he is building a lifeline from scraps. The calm man's jaw tightens, but he does not stop you. Not yet. Maybe he thinks he can contain it after. Maybe he thinks you will fold. People like him always think people like you will fold. The operator guides you into the cramped broadcast corner where everything smells like old coffee and warm dust. A microphone sits there, innocent as a church confession booth. You lean toward it, heart hammering, and for one clean second you feel almost powerful. It is a stupid thing to feel in a disaster, but it is real. Agency. A word you used to hear in meetings and never needed to taste like this. If you can hear me, you begin, voice rough. I need you to... The rear door slams. Not a dramatic slam, not movie theater thunder, just a firm, final sound that says somebody has decided the room is sealed. Every person freezes in the same instant, like the building itself just instructed your bodies to conserve oxygen. The calm man turns first. A figure stands in the doorway. Dark gloves, work boots, a posture so steady it feels rehearsed. No wild eyes, no shaking hands, no shouted threats. Just controlled breathing you can almost count. In, out, in, out. The kind of calm you see in people who practice being calm. The intruder does not rush. He walks, slow, deliberate steps that make space collapse around him. He is not hunting randomly. He is steering the room, like a shepherd with a private hate for sheep. His gaze finds you immediately. Of course it does. He lifts one gloved hand, palm open in a gesture that could almost be mistaken for peace, if you ignored the other hand holding a short, utilitarian blade the way a mechanic holds a tool, not for drama, for function. Do not, he says, soft as a bedtime instruction. The operator's voice cracks. Who are you? The intruder's eyes do not leave you. Nobody, he says. That is the point. Your mouth goes dry. You put my name in that file. A tiny tilt of his head. Approval, almost. Like you solved a puzzle quickly. You heard it. Good. The calm man takes a step, and the intruder shifts his weight just enough to warn him back. No lunge, no flourish. Just a reminder that violence does not need passion to be effective. The intruder speaks again, and his tone is almost conversational. You want to tell people. You want to be the first voice they trust. You can feel it, can't you? You hate that he is right. You hate that your need to speak is also a need to be believed. He nods toward the bystander filmer. And you, he says, without looking, keep recording. This matters. The bystander filmer does not argue. That might be the scariest detail in the room. You think this is about the explosion, the intruder continues. It is not. Explosions are crude, loud, too many variables. His eyes flick to your phone, to the looping warning file. This is elegant. A warning that exists but cannot reach the people who need it. A truth trapped behind systems that work until they do not. Your stomach twists. Why my name? Because you are the control group, he says, like he is explaining a study protocol. A single person carrying the warning into the open. Or failing. Either outcome teaches me. Something. You stare at him. Teaches you what? His voice stays calm. How truth behaves under fear. The operator whispers, barely audible. This is insane. The intruder's eyes sharpen. No, he corrects, almost gently. It is disciplined. Your mind races through possibilities, and every path feels poisoned. If you hand your phone to the calm man, the evidence disappears into procedure, and you become a footnote. If you stay quiet, you live. Maybe. But the city stays blind. And you spend the rest of your life knowing you had a chance to speak and chose comfort. If you go to the microphone right now, you paint a target on your own chest, and you may ignite panic in a city already bleeding. And then there is the worst option, the one your brain offers like a dare. Bait him. Get him close to the mic. Let the world hear the calm in his voice. Let them hear the intention. The intruder takes one step closer, blade still low, like he is saving energy. Move away from the microphone, he tells you, patient now. Quiet places are better for corrections. You feel the technician beside the board, eyes flicking between you and the transmitter controls. He is terrified. He is also ready. You make your choice with a kind of numb clarity. You keep your face steady. You nod like you are obeying. And as you shift your weight, you let your hand drift across the console. Casual, almost careless. Your fingertip finds the switch. Your finger presses transmit. The room seems to inhale as one organism. The warning pours through the system, thinner and stranger than it sounded on your phone, bent by old equipment and weak power, but still unmistakably human. Still a voice saying, "Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate," like the city finally getting the message it was denied. The intruder's head turns slightly, listening. And then, over the warning, another voice slides into the line, perfectly timed, perfectly placed. His voice. "See?" he says to the unseen listeners, calm as ever. "You can hear it now." The operator lunges for a control, and everything cuts to silence. Not peace, not safety, just absence. Right beside you, a handset lifts with a sharp, intimate click. The intruder leans close enough that you can smell cold air and something clean on his gloves, like sanitizer. "Tell them," he whispers. "You made it up. You live. Barely. Not because anyone saves you with heroics, but because chaos has rules. People run toward exits, and the intruder does not want a scene. He wants compliance. In the crush of bodies and orders, you stumble into cold air and keep moving until your lungs stop burning. Within hours, Nashville begins to do what cities always do after the unthinkable. It builds a safer sentence. Press conferences, cleared streets, words like isolated, contained, no ongoing threat. Your statement is taken 3 different ways by 3 different people who all smile like they are helping you heal. And then the strange part, your broadcast. You hear it once in a clipped video someone sends you at midnight, the warning warping through old equipment and a calm voice laying itself over it. See? You can hear it now. 2 days later, the clip is different. Your voice is missing. The overlay is called audio contamination. You are told, firmly and kindly, to stop complicating a tragedy. Here is what makes this truly rotten. In the real Nashville Christmas Day bombing on December 25, 2020, a recorded evacuation warning did play before the explosion. Reuters later reported investigators concluded the bomber acted alone, and the act was not terrorism. Reuters.com. But in this version, the horror is not a creature. It is a system that can fail, be steered, and be rewritten. And you learning how easy it is to become a footnote in your own life. If you want more midnight history nightmares, like this video, subscribe, share it, and comment what you would have done at the microphone. Because the choice you make is the version people repeat. Your phone buzzes. No number, no timestamp, just Merry Christmas